This idea that women are poor negotiators and they don't negotiate at all is really overplayed based on the data that's out there. We didn't think that the data really warranted such an extreme conclusion, and this is important because it has implications for how we react to the data that does suggest that's true. What's really noticeable is that women's negotiation performance relative to men's varies a lot. So there are conditions where women underperform in negotiations relative to men, but that difference is highly variable. So there are a number of factors that make the difference go away, such as when women are negotiating on behalf of another person, or when they have information about the type of offer that is appropriate. So basically, how high should their first offer be, or how low should it be? What are more robust are findings that women are treated differently in negotiation. So it is clear that even when they're acting identically to men, they're not receiving the same types of treatment and the same types of reactions from men or women alike. We actually think that training women to behave more like men is very unlikely to eliminate that difference, if that's what's true. And that's because women are being treated differently for behaving in identical ways. But negotiation is often perceived to be a masculine domain. Meaning that men are expected to perform better within that domain than women. It's seen as generally a male skill. And because of that, it can be the case that people don't actually want to see women do well in negotiation. So there is a perception problem in addition to whatever performance problem might exist. Because they think of it as a masculine domain, they may be motivated to believe that men are better negotiators than women are, and we haven't really attended to that much in the research to date, but it is a possibility to the extent that people are discounting evidence of women's negotiating skills, that it serves some type of useful psychological function for them. To the extent that we believe that women are poor negotiators because they're not assertive or not competitive enough, or whatever specific beliefs we hold, I have some evidence suggesting we think women are easier to mislead than men. These things can, even if untrue initially, become self-fulfilling. So if, for instance, I think you're easier to mislead than another person, I may be more likely to target you with deception. And if I have deceived you with a complicated lie, you may end up with a worse negotiation outcome than another party who I thought would be difficult to deceive, so I didn't even try, and therefore I didn't get the advantage of using deception on them in negotiation. So that type of thing, that self-fulfilling prophecy about stereotypes, can undermine women's outcomes in negotiation. It's possible that women are actually much better negotiators than we think they are, only because of the way that we've studied negotiation to date. The way that we study negotiation often is in very short-term contexts where only economic outcomes matter. And in the real world, of course, we care about the relationships that we build through negotiation because people can choose who to engage with as negotiation partners and who to do business with, and whether to do business with them over the long term or only over the short term. And because our negotiation simulations aren't capturing that longer term, higher stakes environment, we may be underselling women's negotiating abilities. When women are going into a negotiation, they can remember that negotiating skill is often a product of hard work rather than innate ability. And if they keep in mind that negotiating skills can be developed, that a single negotiation isn't a test of their skill, but it's a learning opportunity in which they can develop skill, that can help them overcome the negative impact of some of these negative stereotypes they face about their abilities.